What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to Transfer View. Nearly forgot to unmute my. Well, I didn't forget. I pressed it, then didn't click it enough, and yeah,
I saw it.
boom.
I saw it was
But I
twice.
didn't.
It was a couple of
Yeah, I was
clicks.
like,
Yeah.
I can't get it. Can't get it. Happy bank holiday, peeps. Hopefully, you guys are chilling. Happy Carnival Day. If you go, you lot are going Carnival. If you didn't go yesterday, big up to you lot. And it's a time to just chill because you know what, we've got a new signing, but we've got 3 more signings to talk about. 3 more signings incoming. 3 more signings in the hunt for. Can we get that? So we will be talking about what next for Manchester United. 3 more signings. We're talking about the Antony latest in terms of, yes, we know that there's a done deal. There's a here we go. When can we expect an official announcement? When can his medical be? Could he be in the team for Arsenal, let's say? Just under a week from now. That would probably be more likely than the Thursday night against Leicester. Dubravka is now the priority as well from Newcastle, so we're looking for another goalkeeper and Ten Hag's strongest 11. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. So smash a like on the video. You lot subscribe to the channel if you're new. Remember, the full view is up from last night where we basically announced the here we go, the signing of Antony. So go and check that out after this. And later on today, you will have the tactical view as well, which was a really, really good one. This one, I think, is the best one yet. So, yes, Owen, what we got, man? Top of the hour.
Yes, top of the hour, top of the morning to you, Flex.
Top of the morning, top of the morning.
Top of the morning. And we're going to be talking about, as you mentioned, possibly 3 new signings for Manchester United, not including Antony, because it was reported by the Telegraph last night, specifically Jason Burt, that Manchester United are considering signing a right back or a midfielder or possibly even another forward before the transfer deadline this week. However, this is where it gets interesting because there were also conflicting reports last night from Simon Jones from the Daily Mail saying Manchester United do not anticipate adding any more signings other than a goalkeeper. So conflicting reports certainly there. Do we really think 3? Really? I mean, how many days are left now? Is it 3, 4, 3? I think it's 3. 3 days left. I would be stunned if we did a signing a day, basically. I'm thinking...
No,
goalkeeper.
not a signing a day. Triple announcement, Owen. Come on. What do you mean a signing a day? Deadline day, triple announcement.
They can only be done one at a time. One at a time. Single file line going into Carrington. That's what we're operating as, right? So I think the Bravka one, we'll talk about him in a second, but I think that one looking like it gets done. Another one, what would you say is the priority after that backup goalkeeper? They're saying right back, midfielder,
we've got to get a striker, man.
Forward.
Like, I honestly think this football's a funny game, innit? When Martial can come back, be fit, and just go on a run to the end of the season and be quite reliable. You just never football can do that, but off of the start of the season, you haven't got confidence in that happening, and I think rightly so. Look, Ronaldo, Martial. It's weird with Martial because Martial, his biggest thing is like his consistency of playing. Like, can you rely on him as that guy, as in hot and cold? It's not really availability. I wouldn't have him down as a generic sick note. I'll have him down as once a season he'll get the thigh strain. He will be out a couple of times, but over the course of his whole career, I wouldn't say you'd go blighted with injuries. His biggest thing is, his biggest thing is like hot and cold. But I just think he just hasn't been there. He's just been on, off, on, off.
In the last 2 years, though, would you say there has been a larger amount of injuries? I mean, the Sevilla loan spell, he got injured a lot. Prior to that, when he was at United, I understand, possibly what was going on with Ollie, but wasn't he not available then through injury too? Like, this has been a recurring theme. I mean, you're doing the injury check now.
I'm actually going to check now. Let's just, so we can actually talk about it properly.
But you're right. We definitely need a striker, I think, because it's almost kind of irrespective of if Ronaldo stays or not, really.
Exactly.
Because, again, even if Ronaldo stays, you've still got then Ronaldo's the striker, and this is how wild it is. Rashford probably starts over Ronaldo at the moment. Well, he has started over Ronaldo as the striker. So even if Ronaldo stays, you're going to be looking at wanting that striker that's a bit more mobile and offers a bit more mobility up front. But also, remember what Ten Hag said after the game against Southampton when they said, what did you say at halftime? He said, I said to Rashford, I want my strikers to be more of a point up front. Basically saying, I want people that my wingers can play off. You've got to be able to play with your back to goal. You've got to be able to hold up the ball. You've got to be able to bring people into the game, especially when we're in transition. And can Ronaldo really do that? No. Can Rashford honestly really do that? Rashford has mobility, but he can't really play with his back to goal. He can't hold the ball up, not like Martial can. So you would think that United and Ten Hag would be looking at a striker that can do that. Just who is available? Who is available with 3 days left that you can, not only are they available, but then you can get the deal done quickly without overpaying like we've already done. I know we've been linked to people like Memphis, but can Memphis even do that? But then I guess
No,
we
it's
get
just
to
a
a point
different.
where we're just, again, like I said before, we're just now at the stage where it's like, oh, let's just get people in.
Yeah, I think
Just get bodies
what
in.
we're hoping for is, okay, look, that lack of like focal point up front, it clearly isn't going to happen. Like a Mitrovic and Ivan Tony, someone like what Sebastian Haller was for Eric Ten Hag last year. That obviously
Shout
looks
out
like
to
it's
Haller,
not.
by the way. I don't know if you saw those pictures of him.
I saw him posting up, sort of just smiling with
Yeah,
his
yeah,
family. I
yeah.
think he was eating some food as well. Just he
Mm,
just looked in a good place, which is wicked to
yeah,
see, man.
yeah.
He's fighting that thing, which I love,
100%. Yeah,
man.
100%.
So shout out to him. But yeah, the type of player and impact that he had, I don't think we're going to be in the market for that. I just don't think there's one there. What we're kind of hoping for then is like, okay, let's take out the Martial getting fit and can go on a run of games thing, because obviously I don't think, touch wood, this Achilles thing isn't a massive thing. It's not a big injury. Ten Hag was hoping to have him fit for the next game. If not that, then Arsenal, we'll see. But we're hoping for that more fluid striker then forward, like where they're not a focal point who get you loads of goals, but because we're playing in a good way, our forwards will get goals. If you add Antony into that, with your chance creation goes up, and Bruno then he unleashes himself, starts scoring more goals. We're hoping for that, which is why we're like, we're in a bit of trouble. We're in a bit of trouble. You need to, unless Ten Hag wows us and can get this fluidity really quickly, where it's like game by game, we're like, you know what? Imagine that. Look, 2 months ago, we were like, who's going to be the striker? But look, Sancho's got 4 already. Rashford's got 5. Antony has got a few, and we're scoring goals. We're winning games. We're not prolific scorers, but we're getting shutouts. We're getting clean sheets. Unless that happens, I don't see how we can kick on this season, because Ronaldo, like you said, he looks like he's out the door. Like I said, box away the fact that Martial might come back and then be okay, and then we're good for a few games. He's looking a little bit sketchy. I mean, let me just go off the injury record, right? So last season, what's that? 21-22, he missed 3 games for Sevilla with a muscle injury, and he missed 3 games and then another 3 games. So that's 6 games last year for Man United. He had a knee injury, and another one was said fitness. Then the season before was when he had that big one. That's when he'd done his knee, ruptured knee ligament. That was from March 21 to August 21, missed 14 games. And in that same season, he had a hip injury earlier on, missed 3 games. Same one, he had 1 game out, and then a muscle strain, 1 game out. So you can take the 1 game for a knock here or there. It's multiple days, and there are a lot of single digits, like 1 game here, 2 games there. Not, just not available for the whole season out and out. But it's not horrendous, but it is within the last 2 years that it's just creeping in, just little
And
niggly ones, little.
and it prevents you from getting any momentum, doesn't it? If you're
Yeah,
stop-start like that, and again, we're
yeah,
not talking huge amounts of game, but when it's like a game here, 2 games there, or I play a couple of games, then I'm out for another game. What? I just got a bit of a knock on my knee or something like that. Then it becomes like, okay, that does become an issue of reliability, because you if you're Ten Hag, you would say, well, I don't know if Martial's going to play the next game, because he might
yeah. Even
he
though he
might be out.
really likes him and wants him to
Yeah,
be that
he might
guy.
be out for one, but he might be in for the next one. I mean, make no mistake, Martial's still going to play a lot of games for
Yeah,
Manchester
of
United this
course.
season, touch wood. And clearly he's Ten Hag's preference, but you can't ignore these first 4 games of the season and that he's played 45 minutes of a game. That's it. And especially, and this is meant to be even the sort of the quieter part of the season where the schedule's less. The intensity is only going to get more and more and more
He was
with
fit all
Thursday,
preseason
Sunday.
as well, and you're just like, wow.
Exactly. It's just really frustrating. And again, if what Ten Hag was saying was true in his press conference when he was like, "No, I hope he's back for the next game," it's one of these injuries we've just spoken about. Where it's like a game, then he'll be back, and then so you can't put up with that all season. And it's not a case of, I see some people going really extreme. Oh, get rid of Martial. Then where was this energy for with Eric Bailly? Blah blah blah. Well, unlike with Eric Bailly, where we've got like however many centre backs at the club, like 5 or 6, we haven't got many strikers at the club, and specifically, we haven't got many strikers that Ten Hag feels can do the role he wants his striker to do. So clearly we need a striker. I just don't know, Flex. I have my reservations whether we'll actually get one in between now and the end of the window. I think that this might be a reoccurring theme for United this season where we go, "Ah, if only we'd have had that extra player up front that we could have utilized." I think that might be a bit of a shortcoming for us this season.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just going to be something that we go, "Oh, we just couldn't. We really need it. We really need it." Anthony coming in is fantastic, and my views on that. I want to see him for. I just need to have a look at him in our system at Old Trafford. I want to see it first before I go, wow, that's exactly what we needed. But he's highly tipped. I'm going off what everyone's saying, and we need a player like this, and he's fantastic. Lot of respect and trust for the We Talk Ajax guys who've described him and said he's a beast, he's this, he's that. I'm just going to wait till I see it, but he's highly tipped. But he's not gonna score 20 goals. Do you know what I mean? He might provide 20 goals, which would be amazing. And hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he does a Mo Salah from the right hand side and can give us 20 goals. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think he's been tipped as that player. And I just think that's where, again, we're basically making a ceiling for ourselves out of ceilings that already existed, which is Ten Hag's first season. We need a style of play. We need to change the back line. We need to change the midfield. So, having said that, it hasn't really changed my expectations, like for the better or for the worse. It's like, we was always in a transition thing where a position where we need to be patient, where there's going to be some bad losses, some high wins, some nice lows, some nice highs, some horrible lows. Like that's just what's going to happen this season. So
And
it
we
hasn't
can't
really
do it all in
changed,
one window. We
and
can't
you
do it all in
can't do it
one,
all.
and that's the point.
Exactly,
We
you can't.
can't get every single, because this is the point: is there is a valid argument for every single position in that United squad to
Yeah,
recruit a new player for, but
yeah,
it's just impossible to do that in one window, and you do have to taper your expectations when it comes to that. And when it comes to the striker thing as well, I do feel like you have to reinforce this point, because whenever we talk about this, people that obviously are big Ronaldo fans, and I'm a big Ronaldo, of course, everyone who isn't a big Cristiano Ronaldo fan get really upset by saying, "Oh, what? So Anthony Martial had a good preseason. Now you're saying he's better than Cristiano Ronaldo. He's better than the GOAT, or Ronaldo's achieved more than all of these players combined." Rah rah rah. And you go, I'm not disputing any of that. And again, you have to separate that Christian saying that because Eric Ten Hag doesn't feel that Ronaldo can do what he wants from his striker. That isn't me or you or even Eric Ten Hag saying that Cristiano Ronaldo is rubbish. It's not black or white in that situation. It's just a case of he feels at Ronaldo's stage of his career he is right now that he can't do what he wants his strikers to do. That is it. And it's not saying Ronaldo's rubbish. It's not saying, oh, you've turned your back on Cristiano, or Cristiano Ronaldo scored all these goals for United last season. Now you're turning his back on him. You're throwing him under the bus. It's not that. It's really not even that deep at all. It's just like tactical. And again, it's not saying Ronaldo's bad. If Ronaldo goes to another club, I am sure because he's Cristiano Ronaldo, he'll score like 20
yeah.
goals
And then
because
people will
that
go,
team,
see,
yeah,
you should have kept him and this, that, and the other.
exactly. But that team that he is in will be set up to make sure that Cristiano Ronaldo can score 20 goals. The styles aren't compatible here, unfortunately. And that's just it. I still think Cristiano Ronaldo is one of, if not the greatest player to ever kick a ball. He is. But, just saying he doesn't fit at this stage, I mean, it's not bringing his name into disrepute. It's not saying he's rubbish. It's not saying he's terrible. He never achieved anything. I'm not trying to, like Thanos, erase his Ballon d'Or trophies or anything like that. It's just the reality is
Yeah,
what it
people just get
is.
touchy. There's certain players that's just like it, especially Ronaldo. There's like just like fan groups in it where it's like you can't don't you dare say anything about him. Like don't critically analyze things in a calm manner and work out why he may be good or not good for the team. Just accept he's the GOAT and never say anything about him. There's people like that, and that's fine. If Ronaldo's your guy like that, that's fine. But I just think I agree with what you're saying. It just becomes a bit silly. But yeah, but back to your original question when you was like, I think you said, how do you feel about the strike? I just think it's going to leave us short. I think we're in a bit of trouble there. And that will just ultimately hold us back a little bit more. But we're held back by quite a bit. Do you know what I mean? You could say we're held back at, the right back situation, because I'm actually quite worried about that, because Diogo Dalot is, starting to do okay, and we definitely know he's the number one right back. But again, touch wood, if he gets injured before the Leicester game, you're back to Wan-Bissaka settings. And, that there's even rumors that, he may go back to Palace and stuff. I just think we have to do something there, or we have to be extremely careful. Or something that you would never, again, it's about short-term solutions. Sometimes things that you never think of. Brandon Williams could just get back in there. If how do we not know? I'm not saying I want this to happen. I'm just thinking with 3 days to go, Wan-Bissaka might go back to Palace, and there hasn't really been much right back talk. I know we had those three that we spoke about a couple of shows ago, but there still hasn't been anything on that really. And there was talk that Ten Hag hasn't really had a look at Brandon Williams, and you're talking about from now till January with what, a month out for the World Cup as well. So it's like it's only really all of September, October, a bit of November, and a bit of this. It's not the whole time, is what I'm saying. Then you get to January. So you can, although we don't want to hear it because we want everything sorted, there is an alternative strategy to go, you know what, we've done this within this time. Let's get through to January. I don't think we're going to be in a good enough position to turn our noses down at January, like we have done in previous seasons for different reasons. And then you look for something in January. But we all know how difficult that is in January, though, to get the one. Bruno was a bit of an exception, but it doesn't normally happen, does it?
No, I agree. I think maybe the right back thing, as you mentioned, it's going to be really dependent on what happens with Wan-Bissaka going to Palace. If that deal happens, then we're forced. We
have to. Unless he just says, just let Brandon be there till January. Let me have a look. Unless he says it.
But even isn't he? He's even injured at the moment, isn't he? Because when he was asked about him in the press conference, he said, "Well, we're talking about players that aren't available at the moment." So that would be even more madness. That'd be even more madness, wouldn't it? Of okay, we're going to let Wan-Bissaka go, not get a replacement because we've got Brandon Williams, and you go, "What's going on with Brandon Williams? He's injured. Dalot gets injured." You go, "We've got no one to play at right back." That would be just disastrous, wouldn't it? Yeah. So maybe that does depend on Wan-Bissaka leaving. I think also too, though, you would say that if Wan-Bissaka stays, he's playing games. The schedule's too intense. He'll
play Europa League. He might even play some Prem games as well. Yeah,
he came on against Liverpool, so he'll be playing games certainly. So I was looking at a picture. I think it was of Shaw, Maguire, and Wan-Bissaka, and they were and it was one of these sort of memes of like, oh, if Ollie was still here, we'd be still playing, blah blah blah. And you do look at it like that back four in the space of a season. I know Varane was here and Dalot was here, but certainly Dalot was not playing under Ollie. He was not playing. There were talks about him possibly going out last season, wasn't there? Yeah, because Trippier was linked to United. Do you think like 3 out of 4 players in that back four? It's a new back four.
We went into the season saying, you know what,
it's a new back four.
We went into the season saying, you know what, I think it's changed now, obviously, but I think Varane's the 4th choice centre back. It was Lindelof and Maguire were the main two. Then you had almost Eric Bailly in there, kind of coming in and out. And at times, Varane wasn't even playing. Like, he just wasn't. Obviously, injured a lot, but still, and you're like, wow, Varane's coming. He's 3rd choice centre back or 4th choice centre back. And it's like Eric Ten Hag has gone, you can't have someone like it. You at least need to build it around him and then let him get injured, then come back. He still needs to be the main guy. I need to resurrect that Real Madrid Varane. Whatever they were doing, I need to try and get him going because he's too good in the tank to just have there. Look what I've got at my disposal, and I've just added Casemiro. He's going to play just in front of him. I've got to get that going. That's what it seems like he's thought to me.
Yeah, it definitely does. And maybe he's gone full Ledley King settings where he's like, mate, you don't even have to train.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I did see some people writing, I think it might have been in The Athletic, basically saying that the reason why he wasn't involved so much in pre-season is that they were being really careful with him, essentially. Like, we're going to put you on this specific program. We're going to build you up in the right way. We know the fitness record is what it is with you. We're going to protect you, essentially. Now, whether, again, that gets to a point where the schedule does get more intense, that he's not playing a couple of games in a week, which seems wild to me, because it's not like, like Ledley King, when they did it for him at Spurs, it's because basically he had one knee. Like, his other knee was just completely ripped to shreds. That's not the case with Varane.
No, it's not that bad. No, he can play.
He just can't stay fit for whatever reason. But if we can effectively manage him throughout the season and do take him out where it's required, I don't want him playing in the Europa League basically at all till it gets really serious. I'm talking quarters or semi-finals if we get there. And even cup competitions, don't play him. Let's just keep him for the league. Let's keep him fit. Then again, you look at that back four. It's essentially a new back four from people that were playing last season, at the beginning of
Yeah.
last season. That back four at the beginning of last season, I mean, before Varane was even in, but let's say when Varane was in, it was Shaw, Maguire, Varane, and Wan-Bissaka. Only one person's involved in that now. It's almost an entirely new back four. And it just goes to show, I mean, whether or not, again, we can sustain that throughout the season, I don't know. But I'm way more confident with that back four now than I was
Absolutely.
a few
You're
weeks
going
ago.
into the Leicester game, like you said, yeah, they're going to cause trouble. It's going to be a difficult game. It'd probably be a bit like Southampton, nip and tuck, close, not great. Um, and we might just nick it. But, that's the one thing you have got is a little bit of momentum and a small bit of belief, only because of the characters. Like I've got belief that Martinez is just going to bring that same again. I've got belief that Malacia is going to bring it. Hopefully, these guys start. You never know, but I've got belief that Varane's just coasting his way into things and just getting a hold of things. And the players are starting. Like I said, the easiest way to get the players on board and playing well is to get them wins. Let them see that the hard work they're doing under this new manager, his awkwardness, his silence, his stares, the way he is, whatever they may think of him at the beginning, let them see that, wherever I think we're winning games. Because that's what it is as a player. You can get behind anything when you see the rewards from what you're being put through. It's when you don't, and it just goes to shit. But yeah, so away from the striker, I don't think we get another central midfielder. I can't see that. I think that's probably the furthest away. I think, we know we're going to get the keeper situation, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the show. And right back. So yeah, I really hope we get a striker. Right back. The keeper thing's a bit weird for me. We'll talk about it in a little bit, though. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Remember, you can nominate us in the Football Content Awards as well, whichever category you would like to. Link is in the video description below, and it's also pinned in the chat. A couple of super chats here from Edrin. Edwin's been a member for 2 months of the UV Members Club. And Edwin says, really, really hope Antony will still perform despite the huge fee. Big up the UV community from Malaysia. Wow, all the way in Malaysia. Thank you, Edwin, for watching all the way from there. And yeah, there's a lot of pressure on Antony. A lot, You want to say things like, don't worry about the price tag. It's not on you. It's not your fault. Just play your game and stuff like that. But this is the Premier League. Everyone's going to be out. You know what social media is like. You know what football fans are like, especially from other clubs, even from our own club. 2 games in, he hasn't done anything. He's shit. Oh,
Not
he's
even
kicked the
that,
ball out
Flex.
for a throw.
One bad pass.
One
That's it.
bad pass straight away. Yeah,
That's
exactly. And Buso says, our transfer season is done, fellas. Right back worry. So he's not sure, thinking we need to do more. And WJ Barrett says, we have signed 5 starters. That's good business, 100%. I will talk a little bit about that at the end, about the season, the transfer window we've had in the end, or near the end anyway. Jason G says, Martial doesn't get much credit. He holds up the ball well and makes Rashford and Sancho play better, similar to the pass from Martial that lets Rashford score, 100%. Karen says, why does Ronaldo want to leave now? He wanted the club to show ambition, and they've done it, making the team competitive. And Daniel Hodgson says, massive thanks to LVG for convincing Timber to stay at Ajax so we could get Martinez. And Palmerius says, big up Flex, Owen, and Feeling in the chat. Would you take the pie back just for extra numbers in attack? We've all pretty much said we would. Owen, you still in that camp?
Yes, as long as it's not too expensive and wages.
Absolutely. Like a light 10 million, 100%. And Chinonza says, someone said Marcelo is remaining. What, Real Madrid?
I guess because we're basically signed Real Madrid from 2018, aren't we?
So right. Okay. Yeah. Next up, what we got?
Antony's, the latest on Antony and when we can expect possibly an announcement from Manchester United. The short answer is it appears to be imminently, because Damashev from Sky Sports is saying that Antony is expected in the UK in the next 48 hours for a medical. So that's today or tomorrow. Again, this was repeated by Simon Stone from the BBC. Fabrizio Romano has said that lawyers will check the contracts in order to complete the Antony to Manchester United deal today. The deal for Antony to join Manchester United could now be finalized today. That's according to Laurie Whitwell and David Ornstein. Again, that fee is structured as 95 million euros plus 5 million euros in add-ons. Antony is expected to sign his contract with Manchester United today. Romano also stated that Antony wanted to follow his dream. There was another English club that was interested in late July, but talks have never been advanced or as serious as Antony wanted to reunite with Erik ten Hag, who he views as more than just a football manager. So they've got that kind of father-son relationship going on. But it would appear, Flex, that we're going to get today or tomorrow. You feel like that announcement, the official a deal in principle, blah blah blah, for Manchester United is going to be with United and Ajax is going to be announced today or tomorrow. Chances are not going to be involved with Leicester, I would think. Arsenal, I'm thinking maybe on the bench. He might be on the bench against Arsenal. I mean, it's difficult to say because looking at like Casemiro was on the bench against Southampton, and he really could have started. I mean, there was no issue with fitness. He's had a full preseason Real Madrid, playing in the Super Cup, but it was just a case of Ten Hag saying, "Well, it's about integrating him into the squad, etc." Antony, whilst he's been at the training ground for Ajax, and he did have preseason, he has played games. He hasn't been in full proper training recently or involved in games because he was worried if he gets injured or hurt, then the move wouldn't happen at all. And now he's got his move. Exactly.
I'd say on the bench for Arsenal. And may not even get on. You know what I mean? Just depends. Obviously, I think it's probably too early to nail that down. We'll have to see when the announcement comes, when the pictures / videos come out of him in his first training session. If that happens early enough this week, you might get a little bit more optimistic. But I think it might be similar to Casemiro. Maybe train on Thursday. This coming Thursday is probably realistic. But again, Brazilian player coming from Europe. I know he's coming from Holland instead of Spain, but I don't know with what happened with Brexit and work visas and permits. We managed to get Casemiro in fairly quickly, but not instantly. So it should, and he's got a Brazilian passport as well. So I'm assuming it's going to be the same. I don't know if Holland has different rules to Spain about coming into the UK to work. I don't know. So we'll have to see. But I think, it's going to come soon. It's going to come very, very soon. And we just need to get him in there, get him integrated and see what happens. Because like you said, coming for that sort of money, and we've tracked him for that long, he's a starter. So that's already Jadon Sancho not on the right anymore.
Yeah, well, and that's why Sancho was on the left, wasn't he, against Southampton? Possibly again making that, basically saying, "Look, you're shifting over here, mate. Antony Elanga, you're coming out, and Antony's coming in." And I was chatting with some of the guys from We Talk Ajax actually last night, and we're talking about the price and all that kind of stuff. And you think about it, it basically was the perfect storm for a player costing that amount of money, because you've got a market that's incredibly inflated anyway. Look, you've got people like Anthony Gordon being quoted for 60 million. You've got people going for crazy amounts of money. So the market's inflated. Factor in Manchester United, how slow they are, and I guess arrogance as well, and how they do their transfer business. They'll accept it whenever we put the bid in, because we're Manchester United. The player will want to come, which in this case is accurate, but factor that in, the time to do the deal as well. And then factor in, of course, how late it was and the amount of players that Ajax has sold. All of it kind of just breeds in, and then actually factor in the Frenkie de Jong saga and how that slowed down Man United's transfer plans, and that pot of money that was put to aside for a deal. Everything kind of merged together to lead to buying a player like Antony for 100 million euros that isn't worth 100 million euros. And again, you go back to the pressure that will put on him. It's not his fault at all. It's not. And regardless of whether it's his fault or not, but it isn't, people will still judge him about that price fee every time he does a bad pass or a bad cross, or tries to take on a player and it doesn't work out, or he tries to do a skill and it doesn't work out. They go, 100 million euros, rah, rah, rah. But it doesn't matter, because it's a position we clearly needed to recruit for. We finally have a right winger that's left-footed. We just haven't had that in such a long period of time. We signed Jadon Sancho to play on the right-hand side, knowing full well he's a left-sided player. So we've actually recruited a player for their best position. Have we overpaid? Yeah, we have overpaid.
Look, of course,
honestly, I don't. Not that it's your money, it's not your money, blah blah blah. But if he improves us, and if he can help make us successful, I don't care.
Yeah, that's really all that matters. It's if it's the other way around. If he turns out to be a Pepe was what, 72 million, foreign league winger, massive amounts of money. Everyone going, bloody hell. But everyone goes, he's got ability, so he'll be all right. Dead. Rubbish. Just, Ornstein saying he took a 25% pay cut to get out. Like, it just didn't work. But Alexander Isak scored 6 goals last year in the league. 6 as a striker. 6. And he's actually a striker. He's just gone for 60 million. And he's young as well. Like, do you know what I mean? The market is wild. Like you said, Anthony Gordon's price tag is £60 million. Wesley Fofana, he's a young up-and-coming centre-back. Yes, he's had a couple of good seasons at Leicester. He's barely been in the French main squad. He's in the under-21s trying to break through. 70 million. Like, it's the
It's
same
inflated.
price. It's basically just a little bit less than what Van Dijk was. And Van
Yes.
Dijk had played loads of games at Southampton by then, won stuff at Celtic by then. You know, he was a very experienced centre back. But that's the new, it's like 70, 80 is like the new, and this is where I will bring in what KG said. It's 84 million pounds. You know, it's not 100 million pounds. And probably up front, it ain't even that. It's the add-ons. And look, I'm not going to try and justify it and act like it's not a huge fee for a player who's unproven and stuff like that. Of course it is. But I think we just have to almost forget about that when we've been wanting the Glazers to spend money. Not that this is their money, this is the club's money, to be fair. Don't be fooled by that. Glazers out. But
We
we've
wanted
been
United to spend money.
we've wanted United to spend money and get players in, and just make us better and just give Ten Hag what he wants. And if you break down the signings we've actually made, Malacia is Ten Hag's, Martinez is Ten Hag's, Ericsson could be both, but you definitely know Ten Hag loves him. Casemiro, that's a bit of a weird one. It's like, is that a
Bit of a
Ten Hag
mutual one.
player, or it's a bit of a mutual one? But it's unarguable a word. It is, isn't it?
Don't know.
He's checking. He's gonna type it in. He's checking. Look at him. He can have a little look. Look at him. It's unarguable. Yeah, it's unarguable.
You are correct.
Yes, I thought I was correct. That's an unarguable attainment, Casemiro, because he's just good. And this one definitely is Ten Hag written all over it. And it would have been Frankie de Jong if that saga wasn't there because of the Barca thing. So we have got Ten Hag what he wants when you deep it. And I'm not saying give praise to the Glazers and give praise. You know, we need to see how these signings turned out, and we shouldn't have even been in the position that we are to be doing this late. And we shouldn't be in a position where we don't know now what's going to go on with Ronaldo. There's not going to be a striker. There's no backup right back. What we're going to do? There's still things that aren't fixed. But if you said before the window opened, you're going to get Antony, Casemiro, a new left back. That these are starters, by the way. Martinez, another starter. Antony's another starter. And who else did we get? Who's the other one? Ericsson on a free, but he's a starter. If you could say you got 5 new starters, I remember us talking about who we think would start the first game of the season. I think we only had about 2 in there, maybe 3. And I know the first game of the season wasn't quite it in reality, but we've now got 5 starters. Eric Ten Hag's getting a better base to work off now in terms of giving him what he wants. It's not fixed yet. Hasn't been done the right way round. Shambles has been left to the end. Ronaldo situation, yes, so it's not perfect. But I'm just talking about them players that have come in. They will help us. They will make us better.
Yeah, I do think I said this last night on Twitter that I do think, I mean, it hasn't even closed yet, so we'll wait and see. But
Exactly.
I do think United have had a good window. If you're going to look at the players you've brought in and how they fit in to the starting 11, and they all go into that starting 11. I think United, on the face of it, have had a good window. And you also have to remember again that all of United's issues are never going to be resolved in one window. For the first window of a big, long rebuild, I think they've done well. Now, as you mentioned, the way they've approached it and the way they've gone about it, massively, massively wrong. And I really do hope they learn from those lessons. I doubt that they will.
Absolutely.
But
I ain't getting involved in that. It's always going to be like this.
No, exactly. And did they leave it too long? Yes. Did they have to overpay because they left it too long? Yes. Was the strategy poor because they were going to focus on one player initially before they did the rest of the business, and that one player didn't want to come, and it was so long and elongated that they were chasing this player for 3 months and he never wanted to come, and they put money aside for all this kind of stuff, and they decided 10 days ago what they were going to do with the remainder of their budget. It's been a madness, and it's been really poorly managed, and people have been laughing at us because you started the season really poorly. And make no mistake, as I've said before, if we don't qualify for the top 4 by 6 points, you will look at those first 2 games and said, that's on you. That's your fault. Because it's not as if we were playing.
And that's the margins you're talking about. 6 points is a lot of points. Even though it's only 2 games, it's quite a lot of points. And it's like, you'll definitely look back to that.
Exactly. Because you will say, it's not as if we were playing 2 top teams that are going to be competing for the league. No, you play teams you're expected to win against.
Although Brighton have done really well since then.
But you know my point. There were games that you thought Manchester United were going to win. So again, if we don't qualify for top 4 by 6 points, you'll point to those games and say, that was on you.
That's on the board.
Slow.
Yeah,
you were slow with your transfer strategy. But if you're going to judge it overall, I'd say United have had a good window. Could we have spent less? Absolutely. Could we have done it quicker? Absolutely. Will we do it quicker next time and spend less? Probably not,
Yeah.
honestly. Probably not. It'll be the
I,
same.
I think it's interesting to see in a few days when we do judge it. I've been told, judge us at the end of the window when we give it a number. Be interesting. What do you think the number is now out of 10 with 3 days left where we could bring in some more? What is it now and what could it go up to if you get X or if you get Y? Where are you at now? Let us know in the comments as well. Like, just put a number in there. What out of 10 would you give this window? And please do it honestly. Like, don't just do it like, you're just angry we didn't get this. Look at it across the board. What is it now, right now?
I would say, honestly, I would say probably like a 7. I would say probably a 7. If you'd have said to me before the transfer window even started and before all of this madness started, 5 first team starters, including the likes of, Casemiro, I'd have gone, yeah, I'll have that. I'll take that, including surgery on the defense, left back and a centre back. I
Yeah.
mean, really, he's added to a real spine to that team
Yeah.
in terms of centre back, central midfielder, right winger. It's not a perfect window, but in terms of players in, I don't know if that's as good. It's not as good as we could have got because we could have done better. But I do think United have done well. I'm not going to say it's been a
Yeah.
poor
Yeah.
window. I can't sit here and go, oh, terrible window, blah, blah, blah. Because I do think Ten Hag has been given tools to build a foundation and build something this season. Does he have every single tool that he wants that he could in his toolkit? No, clearly not. But he was never going to get that as well. Some of those players he is going to have to make do with.
Yeah.
But I'm more confident, and we're going to get into starting 11 at the end of the show, but I'm more confident with his strongest starting 11 now than I was 6 weeks
And
ago.
that's because there's been improvement, and especially in two of those signings, in Martinez and now Antony, that's absolutely like number one target settings. You could argue Timber over Martinez, but we're starting to get an affection with Martinez already. He's our player. We all wanted Timber. Either or, like they're both his absolute guys. And now we've got wasn't who was the player of the year? Was it Oh no, that one could have been Alvarez. Actually, I'm not sure. I can't remember who got the
I
player of
think
the
it was
year at Ajax.
Martinez, wasn't it?
Was it Martinez? I think it was.
I think it was, yeah, because he had
Or
that
was it
award, didn't
Alvarez?
he?
Yeah.
He had that award,
So
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, I watched him get it. So I was there. But yeah, that like you can't argue with that. Like it's Eric Ten Hag, you wanted them guys. You wanted them guys. Like Eric Ten Hag, you wanted Malacia. I don't even think Manchester United had a clue who Terrell Malacia was. I didn't. I'd never heard of him. To be honest, I'm not going to act like I did. I did see him play against Rangers, not Rangers. Yeah, no, who'd they play again? Roma, sorry, Roma.
Roma, yeah.
That was it. I did see him play in that game, but it wasn't like, oh my god, like I need to get him. So I'm gonna go with a 6, but I think if we add the right back cover and you add, well, hopefully a striker, but I think you can go up to a 7 from here. But I'm not massively against the 7. I'm not massively against
No,
the 7.
you would say that
I'm not.
windows also, I guess, shouldn't be completely judged just by incomings. The
I was
outgoings
just
have not been good enough.
That's what
In
I was
terms
gonna say.
of the people expiring, you can, again, how do you look at it? In terms of people leaving because their contract expired, we did get rid of a lot of people. You could go, well, that's a positive, but was that really fully on the club? Some of those players they'd have absolutely wanted to retain if they could have, and some of those players decided to leave.
And it was way too late that they were still leaving. You don't get a career pass because now they've actually left. I praise you. I'm not praising you because Juan Mata's finally left. I'm not praising you because Matic finally left. I'm not praising you because Lingard went into the last seconds when you should have sold him the summer before. I'm not praising you with the Pogba situation where you invoked another year.
You offered him like 450.
Do you know what I'm saying? No. So you don't get to just, that's part of this window. Do you know what I mean? Those players just left now, but only just left now because of you. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly.
I'm saying 6. But on the flip side of that, part of this window, which I know isn't really about transfers, but you kind of include it because these players need a space in the squad to play. The fact that you're not starting Maguire anymore, you've made a big change there. You're not starting Luke Shaw anymore. You're not starting Wan-Bissaka anymore, which was kind of the theme even towards before Ten Hag even came, but still it's solidified that now. The fact that you're coming away from McTominay and Fred now, you've broken up that that trio. The McFred thing is no longer. You've got Casemiro in to break up these little relationships. You might even be going the same way with Ronaldo. Let's not go there again before people, get angry. But you've made choices about that. You're breaking up these little things and molding it in your own way, which is good for one transfer window already. That's not even finished. So yeah, there is a poll in the chat. How would you rate Manchester United's window this at this moment? Is it terrible? Is it average? Is it good? Or is it excellent? And it's 44% good, 41% average, excellence 5%, and terrible is 11%. So I think a good would be
That's around
that's around the
6 and
6 or
7.
7.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So that's I think that's fair. I think that's extremely fair. Smash a like on the video, guys. Remember, we've got nearly 3K watching live, which is amazing.
We can get 750 likes. We can do it.
We can do it. We got the start yesterday as well. Without even saying that, I noticed yesterday, which was good. So yeah, smash a like on the video. See if we get 750, nearly 3K watching live. Remember, you can nominate us at the Football Content Awards. It's pinned in the top of the chat, or it's in the link in the video description below. Feel free to nominate us for any of the categories you would like. Be an honor to get the channel nominated at least for an award. That would be great. And a couple of super chats here, where Palmeiras was the last one. So Chinozo, and I read that one. Mark Harris says, can we have a little less conversation from Owen?
It's a song.
With a smiley face.
It's a song.
As in the
Elvis.
less conversation. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. You just did it from Flex.
Yeah, I know.
Little more action, please.
Great song. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on,
come on, come on.
That was great for in the Nike times. That was Amir says, and we had little boxes. Amir says, I don't remember when last a player wanted to join us this much. Well, yeah, he's definitely stuck his head on the line. He put it all out.
Settings.
Yeah, Gallo settings. I'll take a pay cut. Get me there. Isn't the Pepe fee paid over 4 years? Says Game Fanatic. Yeah, it was all in add-ons and stuff like that. And again, this is £84 million ish once the add-ons have been done. And obviously they're not going to be that hard to attain. Akil says Lautaro Martinez is the kind of striker I'd love to see. Oh, I was thinking of Martinez. I was thinking of Lissandro. I was like, what? What's going on? Martinez is that I would love to see. Where is that? I think he suits Ten Hag's style, plus the same aggressiveness as Lissandro. Technically, very good player and stays fit. Yeah, we haven't seen any rumors on that, but yeah, I hear what you're saying there. CM is a member for 2 months of the UV Members Club and says thanks for the work, guys. Just a nice little thank you in the morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, 100%. And Roshdeen is the latest member of the UV Members Club as well. Owen, last couple. What we got?
Dubravka. Whoa, Dubravka. Yeah.
Yes, mate.
No, not feeling that one. Wow, the latest when it comes to Martin Dubravka is that Manchester United are now pushing to make Martin Dubravka their next signing. Newcastle, of course, his current club, are expected to answer today after an official loan bid submitted with a £5 million buy option included. Dubravka agreed personal terms. He has asked Newcastle United's board to leave as he dreams of Manchester United. After sealing the Antony signing, it is now Manchester United's priority to get this deal done. So the next priority is to get this second goalkeeper in. It would appear it's Martin Dubravka, a loan deal with a £5 million buy option included. As I mentioned before, Flex, I do find this one a bit underwhelming. Well, no, underwhelming, to be honest, because my hope was when it came to this backup centre-back that maybe they wouldn't be of the quality.
Backup keeper.
Yeah, they wouldn't be of the quality or the caliber of David De Gea, but they might be proficient enough with their feet that, say, when there does come a time this season where it's like, I don't know about De Gea, blah, 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 you could actually bring this goalkeeper in and go, actually, this is really what we want. We're still going to be looking for a better keeper down the line, but this is what could be. This is what you could have had. This is what you can have in the future. And I don't see Dubravka being that. I see Dubravka just being quite similar to David De Gea, to be honest. Maybe he's a bit more progressive coming off the line, but I don't see him as a goalkeeper that's he's going to rival David De Gea. I see him as a similar quality to Tom Heaton, to be honest. And that's not bad, but that's not like...
That's not what we need. Yeah, I felt a bit sorry. Because I think Romano put out, after seeing Antony do his desire and push the move, he's doing the same. I was like, doesn't have the same shine though, does it? Let me leave. Let me get out of Newcastle. I want to... It's like, okay. That was a bit more dramatic when it was Antony. It was a bit better when he
He
did
goes,
it.
I'm going on strike. All right.
You're fine. We've
You
got
don't have to
Nicholas.
come in if you don't want to. All right.
We've got Nicholas in goal, mate. Don't
Yeah.
need you. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine. So yeah. And look, I think this deal looks like it will get done. So, you don't want to speak ill of a player who's about to become your player. He's going to become a Red. So cool. I just don't really see why. Like you said, I'd rather have Tom Heaton as the second keeper and put the 5 million towards boosting up the chances of getting a forward or a right back. Then, also, I don't know. I don't know. And again, that's why you got to trust in Ten Hag. If they've seen something, they agree on that. Then you want to hope that Ten Hag's got a plan for it. But what you saying, though, and Dean Henderson looked all right yesterday, didn't he?
He said, "Do you want me to bring up the penalty thing again?"
No, not the penalty. No,
because when you messaged me and went, "Oh, Dean Henderson saved it," and I went, and you can let me know in the chat. I might be miles off this, but I went, "It wasn't that good of a penalty," and you went, "Oh, you're being really harsh," and I was like, "Well, in reality, a lot of penalties aren't that good. It's just the keeper dives the wrong way.
To save it.
Yeah, the keeper dives the wrong way, and you go, great penalty. But it wasn't a good penalty by Harry Kane. And if put it this way, with Henderson, when he dived the right way, and because he dived the right way, you should go, he should save that because it's not a great penalty. And it was the same with Declan Rice. And don't get me wrong, saving 2 penalties so far in the season, great achievement for Dean Henderson. It's not easy, but both penalties were pretty shit. They weren't great penalties, especially the Declan Rice one. That wasn't a great penalty.
That was even worse. Harry Kane one, he strikes it true. It's just not right in the corner.
Yeah, and as a keeper, if I dived that side, I go and it went in. I go, I should have saved that because I went the right side and it wasn't.
Yeah, and it wasn't right in the corner. Exactly. At the same time, I think there's a little bit of like you just get annoyed by Dean Henderson because you're still annoyed by that thing. Because he did another thing actually where I was like,
what are you trying to do? Because you're trying to do this Donny thing again. You're trying to make stuff up that isn't there, saying I don't like certain players, all this kind of stuff. I see what you're doing. I see through you, Mr. Flexington. Okay, I see through you. I see what you're trying to do this morning on a bank holiday of all days, meant to be a day of rest, and you're stoking these flames in me. How dare you? How dare you?
He did another thing that we've been asking, David De Gea to do. He came blazing out of his box to put one into the stands as well. Good starting position.
Although, what I will say is that he saved 2 penalties, and you go, should have been in that Europa League final. Should have been in that penalty shootout.
100%. No, listen, the Dean Henderson thing is what it is. But back to Dubravka.
With Dubravka, with Dubravka, what I will say is, you never know, right? I remember when Dubravka came in for Newcastle, nobody knew who he was. I don't even think he was meant to be their number 1 goalkeeper. He was a free transfer under Rafa Benitez or something like that. No, he was alone. He was alone under Rafa Benitez.
I think they did bring him in to be number 1.
I don't know if they did. He was just alone, and then
his first game was Man United.
He started a couple of games, and went, "This Dubravka's pretty good," but he was on loan.
I thought they actually brought him in.
Do you bring in your number 1 goalkeeper on loan?
Well, then maybe that could be the same with us. They weren't supposed to be.
That's my point. That's my point. You never know. You look back to David De Gea, to Edwin van der Sar. Sorry, Edwin van der Sar came in when he was like 35, and he achieved everything in 5 years. Retired at 40, and could have carried on. I mean, Dubravka's what's 33. I'm not going to say Dubravka is going to be Edwin van der Sar, but the point is that
you say that.
But the point is that you never know. You never know.
Okay. And what's our best starting 11? Now let's get into that. Into that.
Well, including the signings,
strongest 11.
The signings that we've got so far, you would say,
right?
Dubravka in goal. No, you could say.
Right, let me go through this. Right, you lot get involved in the chat as well. Put your strongest 11s in the chat.
You would say David De Gea.
Yeah.
Right back Dalot.
Yeah.
Centre backs Varane and Martinez.
Yeah.
Left back Malacia.
Yeah.
2 deeper midfielders, Casemiro, Eriksen.
Yeah.
Then you would have right wing Antony.
Yeah.
Attacker midfielder Bruno as the captain.
Yeah.
Left wing Sancho, and then up front, if he's fit, Anthony Martial. And what I would say about that side, which I think is a big positive, is that is arguably one of the most balanced sides that we have had in a long time. There are people in all of their positions there where they're in the role that they can do best and they're most comfortable in. There isn't positions where it's like, oh, he's played in midfield in a defensive role, but he's not a defensive midfielder. Oh, he's playing on the right-hand side, but actually he's a left winger. All that kind of stuff. You are actually looking at a team there where everyone's in the right position, everyone's in the right role, and it's balanced. The issue is that outside of that starting 11, the depth really isn't there in terms of quality. But that's my strongest 11, I think. What about you?
I agree with that. I agree with that largely. Um, Especially if Ronaldo goes. I think that's fair. Um, the only issue with that, the only deficiency in that, which it shouldn't always be about, it's just a glaringly obvious thing, which will be interesting how we deal with, is there's no height in there. For set pieces and clearing the ball from headers and stuff like that. You only got Varane in there really. Martinez is small, Malassi is small, Dallow's average height, Casemiro and Ericsson are small, Bruno's average height. Um, Antony's small. Martial is average height. There's no real, big guys in there going to win headers. But if we're trying to move on from that, you find ways around it. You defend properly, you win your duels. It shouldn't be defined on that. I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of the balance of that squad. I like the sound of it. Like I said earlier in the show, the back four's transformed. The way it plays, the way it moves, the way it defends. In 2 games, you can see what could be built upon, and there's a long, long way to go. Long way to go. But the building blocks are there. It'd be interesting to see how Casemiro fits in and what type of influence he starts having, and how quickly. That's what I'm really excited to see, because I had some kind of reservations at the beginning of just how we'd use him, the type of player he is versus what we think we're getting. It works really well in that Real Madrid team, star-studded, really, really compact, really well run team. Play kind of on the back foot as well sometimes in the big games. But if you give him I say a similar sort of environment, they're star-studded. I'm not saying player for player, but a similar sort of setup and organization. He can thrive. He can thrive. And you look at what Ericsson's doing in the midfield, he's cooking slowly. He's contributing to the games. Bruno, great goal for him. He needs to raise his all-round game, because then there could be decisions to make there if he goes off the boil again and keeps playing like that, but doesn't get a goal or an assist. There could be something happening there with maybe Donny could come in. So you look at that. But yeah, I think you've hit it on the head. What are people saying in the chat there, actually?
Because even if you say the back four's transformed, look at the midfield as well.
Completely transformed, yeah.
But Fred, I mean, again, I'm assuming we're still going to stick with that 4-2-3-1. I could see us moving towards how Ten Hag moved towards the end of the Southampton game, where it becomes more of a 4-3-3. And that midfield then becomes Casemiro, Ericsson, and then maybe Bruno, or maybe sometimes Casemiro, Fred, and Bruno, because he wants a little bit more energy in there. I'm not sure.
Exactly.
But even just
I think McTominay will still get games here and there. Yeah. I think he might take out Ericsson for a game, start with McTominay and Casemiro, or like you said, Fred and Casemiro for a little bit of steel in there.
But if you're looking
in the big
to see
games,
out,
I don't think he does those.
If you're looking to see out games as well, and you would say, okay, that midfield 3, I'm going to take off Bruno, I'm going to take off Ericsson, and I'm going to bring on McTominay and Fred, plus Casemiro. He's got people that are just going to, win the ball. Exactly. And that's how you see out games. So I think that is a positive there.
Yeah. How would you rate the transfer window at this moment? We did a poll. Oh, it's still going. Terrible, average, good, or excellent. It's now neck and neck. You got 41% average, 41% good. So that is very interesting there. It finished to terrible. Oh no, there you go. There's over. So average was 40%. Average got 40% and good got 40%. And over 1,000 people voted, which that's crazy. That is between basically a 6 and a 7, or you could argue between a 5 and a 6.
I tell you what is crazy is Mr. Phelan was in my ear for a second there and said over 1,000 people voted, but 1,000 people haven't liked the video flex.
Yeah,
well, what's going on there?
You got to use your clicks.
You can vote, but you can't like. Disgrace, cheat.
You got to use your clicks lightly. I've only got one to give, so I chose to get involved in the show and choose the poll rather than the like. Hopefully they change their mind as we exit.
Maybe I need a new agenda.
Exactly. Get off their backs, leave them alone. They'll like the video when they want to like the video. See, this is what you do. You just go in on people. Just don't like people.
I'm a bully.
Lil Yo-Yo says, what's Tom Heaton done to not be trusted at number 2? Thanks for the super chat, Lil Yo-Yo. Yeah, exactly that. It was kind of been like, what's going on there? And M. Sati said, would like to know your thoughts on Europa. Do you think we have a good chance of winning it? Putting in mind Arsenal and Roma are there. And the Champions League teams haven't dropped down yet. So, yeah, you have to just see how it goes, isn't it? With the group stage, I don't even care about touch wood or don't want to jinx it. If we haven't got the aspiration to win that group and get out of that group, then we may as well just pack up and go home. We should be getting out of that group, and we should be winning it, really. But yeah, let's see what happens when we get out of that. And Troy Trey says Van de Beek, McNonymous, Casemiro and Ericsson, no Bruno. So there you go. Interesting.
Wow.
Yes. Well. Guys, smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Remember, you can nominate us on the Football Content Awards page. The link is in the video description below, and it's also pinned in the chat to nominate us for any of the awards that are about. It'd be great to get the channel nominated. Tactical View is out today, later on today, so make sure you look out for that. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this one. Cam was in his element. Back-to-back wins. Best one yet, for sure. So check that out. It's been a good feature since we started, and you guys really, really enjoy that. And we're back again soon with more news. Take care. Peace.